Can I get the extra big edition? Please and thank you. And I was just like, this one. Fine, hobo. Be no fun. Actually, I wouldn't quite say any restaurant because, like, at least here, there is plenty of, air quotes, burrito places that are upsettingly bad. Like, there's some pretty decent ones, but there's also, like, a lot that are, like, concerningly not good. Like, there's some pretty okay burrito places here, but there's also some pretty awful burrito places here. Okay, well, I don't want you to mine that or that. I don't want to, like, accidentally mine out my farm fields, so everything behind my farm fields is getting mined out. Like, none of this I want to get mined out. And we're going to fill this all in. I don't know what I'm going to use this space for, maybe training. We'll have to figure it out. But we'll use this space for something. Also, investments are open. Heads up, chat. Although, hobo, white rice or brown rice in your burrito? Because I take brown rice. Brown rice! All the way. Once again, if I'm given the option. I really like the way this little castle looks. What do you guys think? A really cute looking little castle. My mom just texted me to say that she got stabbed. The second time. I love that it's just like normal in 2021 to say that my mom called me and said that she got stabbed, and the general response is, yay! She got her second vaccine shot. Yes. Hence why I said, like, the answer is yay. This is the first time in my life I've ever had people talk to me about being excited about getting stabbed. I don't know if I'll survive the winter. I don't know. Currently looking. I would generally hope so, but I don't actually know. Stabbity stab. Yep, you heard it. How you doing, Infinity? What's up, Winston's? While playing Life is futile because getting beat up trained your defensive stats. I mean, isn't that basically just getting vaccinated? It's like you beat up your immune system so that it knows what to do when it actually gets beaten up. It's like self-harm for future benefit. I think we're going to make this into a dining hall. Well, hello, Infinity. Oh, hell yeah, Abe. I'll tell you this as somebody who's been fully vaccinated since June, early June. I can confirm that my 5G still doesn't work on my phone. I literally just checked. My phone has 5G capability, and it still doesn't work. I'm a little bit disappointed. I was expecting more from this meme. Also, by a little disappointed, I mean extremely disappointed. The memers lied to me. How dare they? I thought that that was against memer code, as you're not allowed to lie. Does the amount matter? What, for the investments? Type in exclamation point tickets to see how many you have. And you can't invest more than you have, and don't invest more than you're willing to lose, because you will lose them, most likely. This place looks pretty nice. It's a very quaint little castle that we're building on the end of this little peninsula. I just love how quaint this game is. Like, everything about it is just, like, quaint. It's the easiest way to describe it. Tiresome day? Well, I hope that your tiresome day gets less tiresome, Infinity. Day's been okay. Ooh, cow have appeared on map. Burger! But my day's all right. My day's been all right. I slept in today because I didn't sleep well last night, and woke up early to watch F1 because I'm smart. There we go. We has acquired burger. All right. Now that we have murdered the burger, we have to slaughter the burger. Wait, what? Did I only really get one usable corpse out of that? Huh. Anyway. Or maybe they just left the map. Or no, they're just hauling them back really quickly. That's probably what they're doing. Ah, I see. They're hauling them to the remains pile that I have. Ah, that's why they magically disappeared immediately. Well, I gotta tell them to be butchered up here, so. There you go. Hack those apart. But yeah, well, I saw F1 and I slept in. And so now I'm streaming. I'm still tired, though. And I hope that I can sort my sleep schedule out a little better over the next few days. Sure, in 48 hours. At least I'll have that once that's done. Campfire. Roasted cow meat. So someone should go start roasting that. Yeah, you're making roasting cow meat. You're dead again in Tome? No! How long did you have in that run? Yeah, the walking animations in this game are adorable. This game is pretty adorable. The problem is that there's places where I find ASCII far easier to follow than this game. But 8-ish hours? Damn, that's rough. Although that's about how much time I had in my last run of this. That's very expected in Tome. Infinity, it's very expected in Tome. Tome is a game about dying. A lot. Never happens. You never get tired of... You never get greedy. What's Tome? Here. Oh, it's easier that I just show you. This is Tome. Tome is a fucking nightmare. Also an amazing fucking nightmare. This is one of those games where it's like... It'll be like, oh, look, it's $3.89. Overwhelmingly positive reviews. A lot of recent reviews, too. Huh. A couple DLCs, but still total of, only $11. And then you scroll down. First review, 200 hours. Second review, 194 hours. Third review, 1,000 hours. Fucking casuals. 400 hours. 286 hours. 300, yeah, it's one of those games. Tome. It's a traditional roguelike and a fucking scary one. Magial. Made by a dark god. Who is a, how do I explain this? Who actually has made himself into a character in his own video game. And he can bestow gifts upon the players occasionally. It's a good game. It's really fucking cool. If you like action RPGs and turn-based ones specifically. That is probably one of the best ones you'll ever play. At least one of the biggest ones you'll ever play. It's also completely free if you, don't want the online functionality stuff. Maybe someday you'll beat Cogmind. Cogmind is like a 6-hour run. Tome is like a 12-hour run to 40-hour run, depending on how quick you are and if you know what you're doing. Wait, you should be done after 40 hours in a run? No, that's when you die on the last boss and then start over. Till the next beta's out. I need to actually get into Cogmind. Like, actually. Instead of just, like, skimming the surface, getting eye strain, and then giving up. But there's actually, like, enough different fonts that I could play that game now. And I found one that works. I have 55 iron. That's good. New group uniform. I don't know how to do any of this. I'm just going to go make some stuff real quick. Let's just do that first. Iron breastplate, 1, 2, 3. Iron helmet, 1, 2, 3. Iron leggings, 1, 2, 3. Iron boots, 1, 2, 3. Iron shield, 1, 2, 3. 3 of those. Oh, wait, no, that's a two-handed sword. Oh, one-handed. Man, I wish I'd found some more fucking tin. I didn't even want to try. I've never even tried any of the expansions. So many cool branches you never see? You mean you'd love to ask me to, or you'd love to watch me get confused and then yell at somebody for backseating and then accept the backseating anyway and then go check the wiki and then get frustrated and then rinse repeat? Because that's me learning any new roguelike. It's just like basically me banging my head against the edge of my baby crib until I finally give in to asking for help. At least I'm self-aware about it, you know? I just realized that me learning a new game is like the equivalent to me smacking my head against things. I mean, that was, let's see, Golden Chrono Hotel, Jupiter Hell, Caves of Cud, Brogue. Well, although I learned Brogue before I started streaming, so. Adom as well, which is why I had to cheat to finally beat Adom. To finally beat Adom. Adom? I don't even know what my mouth said there. I need to play more Golden Chrono Hotel. I don't have enough time for video games, and I do this for a living. Anyway. Iron boot, iron breast, iron hat, iron kite, iron leg, and is there a way to just like, okay, I think what I can do now is I can go to uniforms. Oh yeah, also this game has magic stuff that I haven't even, like, learned about. I don't even know how any of that shit works. Alright, I actually have a tiny little sword I can sort of see. Ah, you're a child. Oh yeah, no, the only one I saw was Caves of Cud. It's the only roguelike that's actually selling well enough to be in the traditional roguelikes page. Well, actually, no, not traditional, the roguelikes page. Like, if you just go to Steam and you just click roguelikes, let's see, not a roguelike, not a roguelike, not a roguelike, definitely not a roguelike, not a roguelike, not a roguelike. What the fuck? That game doesn't even have proc gen, excuse me? It's just like an open world puzzle game. Not a roguelike, not a roguelike, definitely not a roguelike, absolutely not a roguelike, not a roguelike, not a roguelike, not a roguelike. FTL, yeah, definitely not a roguelike. Turn, like, side-scrolly base builder game, pardon? Not a roguelike, card game, not a roguelike, not a roguelike. I mean, that's a board game. Not a roguelike, definitely not a roguelike. I mean, I could see an argument, but still definitely not a roguelike. Closer than anything else here, though. Let's see, show more. Definitely not a roguelike, not a roguelike, not a roguelike, turn-based tactics game, not a roguelike, 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 not a roguelike. Still not a roguelike. That doesn't even have proc. Well, I mean, it does kind of. Not a roguelike, not a roguelike, not a. That's just a fucking arcade game. Roguelike! All right. 60 seconds? Last I checked, it's not turn-based. Wait, no, that's Lobotomy Corporation. Where the fuck did that game go? No, this isn't a roguelike. This is fucking real time. Not a roguelike. Not even close. Nope. Roguelike is roguelike. Everything else on that page is a run-based game. Changed my mind. Literally none of those games are roguelikes. Also, don't try to change my mind because you can't. I should also probably give you that disclaimer. If it was pure sarcasm, you should put a kappa on it. Okay, that should be good. Just saving real quick. I don't think this will screw things up, but if it does... No, 60 seconds isn't a turn-based game. In order for it to be a roguelike, it has to be a procedurally generated, turn-based game. I mean, I got nothing against you using Pog, but if you're going to use Pog, use an actual Pog emote. Don't just say Pog. Because Pog is a little disc that I would buy in the early 2000s or late 90s that was made of cardboard with a picture of Spoderman on it. I literally have a crypt Pog. Alright, well a turn-based tactics game is a game like XCOM, or a game like Battle Brothers where you have multiple characters, you go around on an overworld map, you then go into one static mission, you do that mission, and then you go back to the overworld map. It's not a dungeon crawler, it's a turn-based tactics game. Where you have a squad of dudes in a turn-based tactics sense. It's not a dungeon crawler, it's not a traditional roguelike. That was the roguelikes page, sir. It's the page labeled roguelikes, and there wasn't a single roguelike on it until I hit Caves of Cud. But it's okay. Everybody on the planet disagrees with me, and I'm wrong, so that decision has been made for me. My opinions don't matter, and I give up. Because clearly I'm wrong and don't know what I'm talking about. And I was definitely looking at the wrong page. Fucking pathetic. It's like, I like a lot of run-based games that claim that they're roguelikes, but they're not roguelikes. So. It was the roguelikes section featured on the front page of Steam. That has been there since the beginning of the Steam sale. It clearly is labeled roguelike. Roguelike. Doesn't say roguelite. Doesn't say action roguelike. Doesn't say run-based or any of the correct terms for any of those games. Just says roguelike. I definitely don't know what I'm talking about. Do not obsess over this. And I'm obviously wrong. Meta progression is trash and disrespects the player's time. Yeah, I mean, I always say it's like comparing Call of Duty and Arma because they're both first-person or third-person shooters. I guess Arma's kind of technically a third-person shooter primarily, but... Hey, Anander. It's good to see you. Glad to see you're still up and about and kicking. Haven't been eaten by your children yet. Hope things are right. Well, that's because it suggests your most frequently looked at tags. Steam is just like YouTube. It recommends based on your activity. It's all algorithms. It's only a matter of time until they consume you totally. I hope you're doing well, though. One-handed sword. Remove that. Another iron kite shield. You go do the same thing. Take some iron boots. Take a kite shield. One-handed sword. Still waiting on other things. Oh, there we go. Iron leggings. I mean, isn't, like, basically everything outside of the two good games, like Amnesia and then the one where you're underwater or in a space station or whatever you're supposed to be in, and then, like, the Penumbra games, hasn't everything that studio made since, like, been not great? Because they put out another Amnesia game, like, last year, and it came out to middling reviews. Yeah, Soma, that was it. But they put out another Amnesia game, like, recently. Amnesia, Revengeance, Reckoning. I do remember Dark Descent scaring the absolute fucking piss out of me when I was younger, though. It probably was helped by the fact that I played it on a, like, 55-inch flat screen with my friend who was named Daniel, oddly enough. Which was the name of the main character in that game. Also, even if I go to the roguelike and then specify dungeon crawler, not a roguelike, 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 okay. Not a roguelike, 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 nope, 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 nope. That's just a fucking action RPG. Nope, 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 nope. Hey, roguelike. Hey, a kind of a roguelike. A shit one, but kind of a roguelike. Unreal World is a roguelike, yes. They don't need to have an ending. An ending? An ending. They don't need to have an ending, but Unreal World is a roguelike. One of the oldest ones. It just bugged you and you couldn't get into it. The, like, first 2 hours of Amnesia The Dark Descent scared the piss out of me, and then we just, like, ran at the monster and punched him in the face, and then it was just, like, laughs from there on. Until the end of the game. It's the closest thing that I could... I mean, it's sort of turn-based. It's just the turn-based... Turns are on a timer. I don't know. It's closer to a fucking roguelike than Hades, that's for sure. And don't get me wrong, I like Hades. That's a good game. But, like, man... Sorry, I'm just eternally frustrated about this stuff. I think I will just... I'm just cursed to always be kind of frustrated by that. I put it this way, right? You know those people that got really, 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 really mad at the RPG genre? When RPGs went from being role-playing games to being character adventure games or character action adventure games? You know, like, when they went from being, like, Icewind Dale to fucking Skyrim and Oblivion. Like when that transition happened, those people that got really fucking mad. Yeah, I'm one of those people. But for roguelikes. It's that kind of exact same situation. So if you were one of those people who got like really upset when a genre of games that you liked went away because people suddenly started calling something that used to not be called that thing, and then everything becoming that thing, that's what's happening to roguelikes. Like now fucking by modern standards, Doom Eternal's an RPG. Because like you have fucking XP and you level up. So that's basically what's happening. That's good, Anander. Hell yeah. I mean, they're kind of back-ish, sort of. Back. They're more back now than they were before. You know, like we're getting new Wasteland. Like that new Wasteland came out. They've made you know, Pillars of Eternity and Pillars of Eternity 2, and yeah, we got Wasteland 2, I guess, as well. So like CRPGs are kind of back. There's also like Torment and you know all those games. Like they've kind of come back in a way. Oh, obviously Disco Elysium. You know, Baldur's Gate 3's coming out. Pathfinder Kingmaker, even though some people really didn't like that game. Like, you know, people are making those games again. You know, it was funny because Murphist, somebody, well, actually, Pink Fluffy was in the chat the other day and talking about how, well, asking if there is a world where a storefront specifically for roguelikes would make sense. I'm just going to say no. No, it doesn't. And I have a simple reason as to why it doesn't make sense and why I don't think it would be sustainable or have any reason to exist. It's because the people who know what they are already looking for them and already know how to find them, right? Like, that's not the problem. The problem is the name is just so overused by things that just aren't that thing that it doesn't matter if someone steps up and start marketing the proper thing because people still don't associate the actual thing with what the thing is anymore. Does that make any sense, or am I just blurting out nonsense? Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, I mean, FG kind of said this to me on an After Hours once, and it kind of hurt me a little bit, but it's true, which is, I mean, the fight's kind of over because the public has already decided, and the public doesn't care. And the public being major marketing companies for AAA developers. So, roguelikes are destined to fall into obscurity and become an obscure subgenre of games that only a very specific group of people know even exists anymore. And that's it. But I'll keep covering them. And I'll keep bitching. And maybe one day we'll get a proper dungeon crawler resurgence. I'm not going to hold out hope. But I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, and you know, you gotta love solo / really small teams of very niche developers keeping genres of games alive, and I guess I'm gonna have to hold the flag and be one of the few YouTubers who helps keep those games alive, you know? Although that being said, you know, there's plenty of bigger people on the internet than me that are also covering those games. Just not specifically, you know, there's people like Nukrim, there's people like Splattercat, there's plenty of people out there that are covering those sorts of games. Just Using percentages seems hard for people Steam or so Steam at all think that they give us percentages. How much a game is considered a genre X/tag X and people only learn to associate 1 or 0. I think I understand what you're saying, Infinity. You know, like a game that I was talking about earlier that I quite enjoy, Bad North. It's not a roguelike. It's a fun little game. I miss when Quill used to be cool. I mean, Quill's still cool. I don't actually have anything against Quill. But I don't know. I feel like when I first discovered Quill, every time I turned around, Quill was introducing me to some either old game that I forgot existed or some game that I never knew existed. And it was always an exciting, interesting new moment for me. And I feel like now every time I look at what Quill's doing these days, it's like, oh, okay, he's covering another DLC. Or, like, I don't know. I feel like the interesting things that Quill did back in the day I feel like he kind of stopped. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like, not watching Quill enough, which is possible. But this game looks cool, Love Broken. It's very cheap. It's, like, $8 right now. It's a little colony builder with quite a bit of depth. A little bit of jank around the edges. Some frustrating elements. Like, it's not perfect by any stretch, but I'm streaming this because I am recording footage for an interview that I'm doing with the developer. I guess, and I find, like, a lot of 4X games, like, I'm trying to, like, how many interesting, weird indie 4X games are there? It's like, there's Aurora 4X, and a handful of games in early access, but they're all kind of known quantities. I don't know, like, maybe it's just, maybe I'm just too into games now, and I don't know. I feel like Cool kind of lost something for me now. But I don't know. I still tune into his birthday stream his charity streams that he does every year. Those are fun to watch. The birthday charity streams. Like, I like Quill. I'm not gonna talk shit about Quill. Quill's good people, but. But how you doing, Love Broken? Hope you're doing well. I think I lost my woodcutters. Need some of these kids to, You're a leather worker. Let's change you to a forester. That's good to hear, Love Broken. I mean, Winston's, for me with roguelikes, the way to talk about a modern roguelike without irritating me is very simple. Most modern roguelikes aren't roguelikes. They are run-based games. And you can take any genre of game and squish run-based in there, and it's basically the definition of roguelike, right? Slay the Spire is not a roguelike. It has nothing in common with Rogue. But you go on a run. You start at the beginning, and you go on a run. Amazing Cultivation Simulator is a weird one. It's not made by English developers. It's made by a Chinese developer, and it's very clear when reading the dialogue. Guides are pretty plentiful, but not in English, so it's a tricky one to get into, but I've heard really good things. I'll have to play it at some point in the next 10,000 years. Just not super high on my priority list. But yeah, that's how to talk about what most people consider roguelikes without irritating me. Is simply state run-based. Because it literally covers like what people... like when people think of a roguelike, a modern roguelike, they think of a game where you sit down, you run through a randomly-ish generated or like relatively procedural-y thingy, and then you start over and you gain something and you do it again. Like that's people's idea of a modern roguelike. That mechanic is called run-based. You could just call a game run-based without calling it a roguelike. It's weird. If you use sickles, it kills the seeds. It's important to note. Which is why you say it's not a roguelike, but you say it's a run-based game. It's a run-based card game. It's a run-based platformer. It's a run-based first-person shooter. It's a run-based strategy game. It's a run-based top-down hack and slash. It's a run-based character dungeon crawler. You know? Like, whatever. Like, you can literally take run-based and glue it to anything. And it makes just as much sense when you think about it. That's what the industry needs to swap to. Is they need to swap from roguelike to run-based. So if you say something is like Rogue, it should be specifically like Rogue. You know, there's a reason we started calling first-person shooters and stopped calling them Doom clones. We used to call them Doom clones or Quake clones. At least, I remember when they were called Doom clones and Quake clones. So I can't have been the only one who did that. No, I don't. I see, here's the thing. I don't think roguelite is a genuine useful term. And the reason I don't think I disagree with what Total Biscuit used to say. The reason I don't think roguelite is a useful term is because people just confuse it with roguelike. It's too simple. It's too similar. Like, you know, we used to call FPS games Doom-likes, or before that they were Wolf-likes. You know? It was a first-person shooter was a game that was like Doom. So we stopped calling them Doom clones, right? We developed a name for a genre for that thing. If someone makes a Doom clone now, you know exactly what the fuck that game is, right? If someone says Doom clone or Quake clone, you immediately think like fucking Dusk, right? You call Dusk a Quake clone, right? You call Proteus a Doom or a Quake clone because they look like that. You know what that is looking at it, right? It's like, oh, that's a Doom clone. They don't make those very often anymore. Cool. So when someone looks at a roguelike, they should be like, oh, that's a roguelike. Not looking at Binding of Isaac and going, that's a roguelike, because it's not. It's just moronic. Like, I don't know. I really didn't want to have this discussion today. But here I am! Here I am. No, it's fine. It's not even you who brought it up. It's just kind of a natural response to the stream. It's fine. We're getting Freskins good and drunk off of the bingo card because I'm nonsensically ranting over frivolous bullshit. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm going to use a Steam page as an example. Which, by the way, it's really hard to find Rogue on Steam. Like, just plain-ass and simple Rogue. They've made it very, very, very difficult. Because there's so many fucking games called Rogue. Like, literally, I want to find Rogue. The, you know, classic game Rogue. Can't even find it on Steam. That's how many games are called fucking Rogue. Okay. This is Rogue. Okay? Rogue, don't buy this copy of Rogue, by the way. This is The game's open source and free, so you can just go get the source code and play it. But this is Rogue. Rogue is a grid-based, turn-based, procedurally generated dungeon crawler. Okay? Has permadeath, but every time you play through, you learn a little bit more about the mechanics, and as a player, get better at it to a point where you can get deeper and deeper, and eventually die a horrible death to some hobgoblin or something or another. Right? This is Rogue. If you're going to make a game that's like Rogue, it has to be like Rogue. The way you make a game like Rogue is you make a procedurally generated, turn-based dungeon crawler with unknown items or some form of discovery every run, something that is unknown that you have to look into and learn about, permadeath, no meta progression, and some form of character progression throughout. So your character either gains loot or gets stronger or something. So it's a style of dungeon crawler that can or cannot have an overworld. Doesn't necessarily need to be ASCII, but it has to be turn-based and grid-based and have permanent death with no meta progression. That is what makes a game like Rogue. If you are making a game and calling it a roguelike and it is not like Rogue, you're making something else. You're not making a roguelike. You're simply gluing that buzz term onto it to sell more copies. It's like saying that you're making a game that's like Dwarf Fortress, but instead of making a game that's like Dwarf Fortress, you made Space Haven, which is, a fine game. This game was heavily marketed as inspired by Dwarf Fortress. It's got more in common with The Sims than Dwarf Fortress, and I don't see people marketing The Sims as a Dwarf Fortress clone. This has nothing in common with Dwarf Fortress. You build a spaceship. Another game that marketed itself as Dwarf Fortress, thanks, by the way. I'll get to that in a second. Another game that marketed itself as a Dwarf Fortress clone was Oxygen Not Included. Literally, their original pitch for this game was it was going to be a base building game inspired by Dwarf Fortress. The fuck's this got in common with Dwarf Fortress? Whereas you look at this game and you immediately know it's kind of similar to Dwarf Fortress. Wisdom, thank you very much for the $10.01. Knocking hobo back. Cheers, man. Big thanks. Jack, can I get a couple beers? For the wisdom. Cheers. The S on my thing, it looks so familiar. It's Star Sector. I mean, yes, of course DF's a sim aunt like. Did you know that? My aunt loves Sims, and she plays Dwarf Fortress all the time. No, it's nothing like Dwarf Fortress. But, do you guys kind of understand this fucking frivolous rant here that makes my blood sugar go up every day? Or rather, my blood pressure, not my blood sugar. I don't know if what I said in the last 5 minutes makes any sense, but... Also, thank you very much, Wisdom. Up until now, I'd made probably about $2 today, so thank you very much for the $10.01. You've, multiplied my revenue by 5. So cheers. But yeah, no, I mean, all of those games I mentioned there are great, right? To be clear, I'm not calling games bad. I'm just saying people need to label their games correctly. But the problem is developers know that if they sell a colony management game and say it's like Dwarf Fortress, they're more likely to sell copies. Just like if you make any kind of dungeon crawler and say it's a roguelike, you're more likely to sell copies. Regardless of whether or not it's factual. And people want to sell copies. They don't care about what it takes. They just want to sell copies. And then when smaller developers come into the world and start developing games, like Soul Ash, for example, it should be a cool throwback to a genre that people used to know, but instead it's just, what's this? Well, it's definitely not a roguelike. Santa, what's up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Also, there's part of me right now that really wants to just call out Hobo and point out the fact that he's been one up on the bits leaderboard, but you know what? I'm not gonna do that. That would be mean. But thanks for 1,000 bits. Cheers. It's fine. The leaderboard resets tonight, so. Or rather, resets in like 7 hours. Now you get Cities XL. Well, Cities XL is a different developer. Ironically, I own Cities XL. I bought it for like $2. I was like, it can't be that bad. Well, about that. Yeah, about that. About that. It was that bad. You just helped some gang member to get home. I mean, everyone's got to go home, right? Regardless of what your pastimes and hobbies are. You're doing rock placing? Rock placing? You're actually playing Planet Coaster? Holy shiz. Damn. What year is it? Someone actually playing Planet Coaster? I'm like weirdly curious. How many people are playing Planet Coaster? $2012. Huh. Oddly fitting. Also, thanks for your 2 cents, Hobo. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end. Wood training dummy. Bronze weapon rack. Oh, did that actually... But there's a bronze nugget right... Oh, I see. I only have 1. I need 2. Literally just need 1 tin. What is that game? Not relevant. Something... It's like the girl that I used to know. You know what I mean? That game. The game that has 2012 people playing it. You know what I mean? But what is this game? This is Odd Realm. It's this. It's a little game that I'm interviewing the developer for tomorrow. It's very cheap. It's a little colony management base builder game. Kind of loosely inspired by Dwarf Fortress in its perspective, but quite different in its gameplay and execution. Obviously, it doesn't have as much depth. That would just be an unfair comparison. But it's, we're building a little castle. In a little 3D space. Yeah. No, if only you could find time to play it. Well, at least you can feel good about supporting a good Canadian developer, you know? Then you felt like you wanted to play a game with a little more modern UI. Yeah, that's like me every time I get baked and I open up OpenTTD and then I'm like, why did I do this to myself? I know that feeling. Ironically, I have an easier time following what's going off in than figuring out what's going on in Dwarf Fortress than I do in this. This game frequently confuses me and I can't figure out what item is what. Because they're all made out of like 18 pixels. So, different, not better. Different, not better. But thank you for coming into my stream and immediately insulting my favorite game. Smile. You have a good time prepping for D&D. Brick of clay. Cheers. All right, let's get fence. I mean, DF also doesn't have a UI, but I digress. Velker. You just installed OpenTTD 2 days ago. You were so hyped that you can finally install it again and then just didn't touch it because it was a short-term burn on locomotion already. Yeah, I know that feeling. I feel like every time I start playing OpenTTD, I actually just end up playing Simutrains. I think I like Simutrains better. I don't know. They're kind of different, but I get more immediate fun out of Simutrains than I do out of OpenTTD. Hi, stupid. What's up? You uninstalled up Simutrains yesterday? Fair enough. I mean, Simutrains has its problems. Don't get me wrong. I'm kind of just building a pretty little spot down here. Little dining room. Cooked food and beverages. Man, I know what your name used to be, because I had it. I was looking at it like a couple of weeks ago, Exiled Bastard, and now I'm just completely blanking on it. Because there's somebody else who frequents this channel who has a very similar name to what that was. Yeah, it's Zildren. I wanted to say Xaid, which is someone else who hangs out this channel. But yeah. What's up? Long time no see. How you been, Z's? Hold up. Let me scroll up. Thanks to the penny. Which way is the pit of sheep? Never consider snack food forbidden to small shrews. Tiny giant cows show disdain. 4. Please add more. College and whatnot. Okay, fair enough. Well, see, they didn't get into the art museum for having graphics. They got into an art museum for the game's design. So it's got nothing to do with the game's visuals. So what brings you around these parts these days, then? Exiled. Also, how the heck have you managed to have the word bastard in your Twitch name for so long and not got, like, forced to have it changed? Because I was kind of impressed when I saw that you had that in your name. I feel like that's something that the easily terrified people over at Twitch would be scared of. Bastard? Not really a bad word? Sure. I know people with less bad words in their usernames that had to get their usernames changed for them being inappropriate. So, I mean, I don't care about people saying bad words, but I'm kind of impressed. Thanks for the penny. Stupid. Cheers. I mean, I know someone whose username was definitely not Hitler and he had to change it. And that's not really offensive, per se. Definitely wasn't. I mean, not really unique. Maybe for the time, but there's plenty of ASCII games. Like, you're saying that like it's the only ASCII game ever made, which is not true. Making my moat wider. Just trying to make sure that I'm not gonna like accidentally dig into anything important. I mean, like, while I agree with you, like, the reason it was put into the art museum was because of its depth and world building, not because of the visuals. That's all I'm trying to say, but you're not entirely off with that, Santa. You're pretty accurate as well. This little castle keeps looking cooler. I'm so happy with this little castle. My 19 residents. Little table that we're working on. The fuck happened to my distillery? I had a distillery. Did it catch fire or something? Yeah, it must have. Oh. I built an iron still, one tile too far up. Which means I could actually just like make it 2 tiles bigger and just like fix the problem. Yep, we playing as humans. We are indeed playing as humans. It's been a pretty chill summer too. Although I am a little worried right now about food supply. We'll see how that goes. Chop shop. It's always a little weird when people tune in for the first time in a very long time. It's like, oh man. So many things must have changed in the past year. Although there is part of streaming that's a little weird where it's like, if someone watches your stream for a lot for a while and then they just disappear off into the ether, there's always like the thought of like, all right, is it you? Is it me? Did I offend you? Usually in my case, that's the case. Usually I just offended them. I've had people like leave my stream and then come back like years later and then genuinely be like, yeah, you pissed me off. I'm like, touche. Kind of, yeah. It's got a nice pace to it, and it's very peaceful. It's very peaceful, Kibbles. Speaking of people I haven't seen in a while, how you doing? It reminds me of Dwarf Fortress like that. In my opinion, one of the most important things in a colony builder is you need the people just to be fun to watch. And as soon as the people become fun to watch, your game is significantly more successful. The people in this game are very fun to watch. So you know what? Instead of doing that, can't type. Which is why, like, the Impressions games were so successful back when. Like Pharaoh and Zeus. Because they were just super satisfying to watch the little people run around. That's why SimCity was so successful, is because, again, it was just super satisfying to watch the people run around. It also kind of makes me wish that this game had a, adventure mode equivalent. I feel like this game would benefit greatly from that sort of thing. You're still dealing with food poisoning? Feel better, but this is the tower currently. Thanks for the 1,003 bits. Wisdom. Cheers. Thank you. Jupiter Hell releases from early access this August on the 5th. But seriously, chat, can I get a couple beers? That's a lot of bits, man. Thank you. I'm gonna work on that next layer. I think I'm gonna go up 2 or 3 levels. This actually is the Dwarf Fortress view, where you only see the current layer that you're on. Which is actually kind of weird to look at in this game. The whole thing is one big art piece, and reducing it into just a few simple adjectives and a few spaces in the thing will undermine the concept, but I think in the complex game mechanics with the viewers of immortalizing the game and there's a solid experience. I think you are correct, and I agree, Santa. And thanks for the pennies, stupid. Cheers. Unique in its complexity, but it also goes super deep, and the visuals are also very much unique. I think they're unique for the time. Like for 2006, absolutely, it was unique. Also, there's nothing wrong with walls of text. I like walls of text. Thanks for the bit, stupid. There is nothing wrong with walls of text. Walls of text are appreciated. It just means good conversation. I don't think there's anything unique about ASCII graphics, but I think that making an ASCII game when they made that ASCII game was not unique, but I think part of what made the game stand out. There's plenty of games with ASCII graphics. But I think that it made the game stand out more, for sure. Also, it's fall, meaning some of the trees change color, and the grass goes brown. Or kind of yellowy. I need to cut all of these. I also need to check on my mushrooms. I think are underground. They mature pretty soon. 12 hours. Stone leaf is used as a basic armor in this game. Also, thanks for the total of 8 cents. I had to go check. Stupid. And thanks a lot, Wisdom. Cheers. I like that the thinking beer kind of makes it look like it's holding it with both hands. I kind of want to see if I can build this tower all the way up to the top. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Thinking beer? I mean, it's a thinking man's beer, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's got the little thunk emoji thought finger thingy. It's like a mug, but it's got both hands on it. Except one of them's doing like that. I guess. It's like a beer, but it's also finger guns, you know? Speaking of, I need more coffee. Nice deep yellow color. How did the browser render that wrong? Yeah, no, totally. It's like kind of tricky to see unless you're squinting. So it is winter. We need to check our plants, see what I'm capable of planting. Not much. Gotta keep expanding these little mushroom farms. And even harder to see? Let's zoom in. Does that make it any better? Or are you talking about the emote? Well, I think emotes are actually kind of bigger on phones in a way. Dwarf Fortress is one of the most influential games ever made, and it is a crime how little fortune the game's made. Even though it's partially due to the generosity of its creators. Wordrum P has not been assigned a profession. How does farmer sound, person? Farmer. You're a forester. You're a child. I don't actually know where this person is that the game is telling me. Oh, I gave you a profession now, so should be good. No, why would they have? Trust me, and Ander, when they set a release date, I'll tell you. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of the little icons on the top of their heads, but their icons are kind of helpful, so. Just not sure what button I hit to turn them on. Pure art that's made for itself didn't make much money in most cases, and Toady is pretty outspoken about making it just because of itself. It's pure in as much as he can. Yeah, but I think the man should, you know, live in an apartment that doesn't boot him out during a pandemic, and also live in an apartment that maybe doesn't like have problems with the patio caving in when he walks on it. I don't know if that's, you know, too much to ask for of an artist, but like I just want the man to be comfortable for making such an important video game, you know? And yeah, of course we'd certainly live in a world where many great creations have gone virtually unnoticed. And not properly funded. We've had many musicians and artists in the past that don't become famous until long after they're dead. So, you know, he's not in that situation at the very least. Died from starvation. Wait, what? Do gates block the ability for people to go through them? Can I open them? Yep, I think they do. Well, the more you know. Somebody just died of starvation. Because, or rather, someone died of starvation because what exactly? I mean, I got 58 food. Did it literally just take you too long to get... I'm confused. I mean, paintings are very useless, yes. Dwarf Fortress has provided joy to many, many, many people. Paintings just provide one person enjoyment. Not saying video games are a higher form of art than fine art, but I might be saying that. Yeah, I have no idea how that dude died from hunger. I will be completely honest. Let's try and keep 10 of these around. Need plant fiber. Time to hack some trees down. Oh, absolutely. Literally useless, unused in their time, hence the artist earning so little. It's different from a piece of art. No, I completely agree. I completely agree on that. It's raining, so the grass is growing back. Okay, so I should have gotten some plant... Yeah, I did get plant fiber from this. Okay, cool. Oh my god. That's tin. I've needed tin for a while. Art within a piece of art. Now that's given me too much credit, but thank you. Someone should go and make this, and then... There you go. Now my soldiers can go train. Excellent. So in the odds that we get attacked, we may actually be able to defend. But I don't know. I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for people like you, Anander, watching the stream. People like Wisdom throwing bits at me and helping keep the stream funded, and all of you guys hanging out and watching. So all these weird discussions about art and politics that we get to have just wouldn't happen if it wasn't for that. It's kind of weird that it doesn't seem like I can set a dining hall or anything. Like there's no entertainment zones. It's a little funky to me. Thanks for the bit. I don't know. It's a good question. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to fine art, that's a really tricky question. And a really touchy subject. Is there 2 L's in the end of leveled? Because there's 2 L's. It's spelling it that way. Huh. Leveled? Or am I... Do I spell leveled incorrectly? Which is definitely a possibility. I might be spelling leveled. As somebody who likes blockchain technology, I agree. I think NFTs are fucking stupid. Blockchain stuff, on the other hand, kind of different. I quite enjoy blockchain stuff. That being said... Oh, so you'll just go grab the uniform then. That's neat. Still like weirdly low on food. It's my own fault. I really hope that trader comes by. Thanks for the $1. Stupid. Cheers, man. I mean, I don't give investing advice, but don't buy memes. Just don't do it. It's a waste of literally everybody's time and money. Don't buy Dogecoin, don't buy Shiba. You're literally just giving money to rich people for free. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, they were giving NFTs away for free in like 2018. I remember about that. I remember reading about NFTs and being like, what the fuck's this shit? But I don't know. I don't like NFTs. NFTs are stupid to me. But then again, I also think buying fine art is kind of dumb. So, you know, you spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. And it's none of my business. No, I mean, crypto's here to stay, whether people like it or not. The problem is right now, you've got a lot of people that got burned by buying memes, which is frustrating. But I don't know. I don't like talking about crypto on stream, and I have a pretty simple reason for it. People seem to think that I'm rich when I talk about crypto. It's like, I don't know, I've been quietly investing small amounts of money for a while in crypto. Not even remotely rich. So trust me, I ain't like quietly Bitcoin rich or anything. It's kind of for the same reason I don't really like talking about, you know, investing in any kind of stocks on stream. It just gets weird. I know somebody who has thousands of Dogecoin that he mined, and he's too lazy to go plug in his hard drive. Like, he probably has like a couple grand in Dogecoin that's just like sitting there. I think it's time to make our bedrooms a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have just enough bedrooms. I think it's time to make these bedrooms a little nicer. And also add some more while we're at it. Yeah, no time. That makes sense. I get where you're coming from. We've dug into the lower layers, so I gotta build flooring. Yeah, I don't know. There's just some, like, you can talk about stocks and people won't question you too much. But if you, there's two things that you, like, I kind of just don't like talking about on stream, which I end up talking about one of them, not the other one. But the first one is I don't really enjoy talking about crypto on stream because people seem to think I'm a Bitcoin millionaire whenever I do. And the other thing I don't really like talking about is gambling of any kind. Because it gets the same kind of response from people. Ay, ay, ay. That just gets me plant fiber, which I can make into poor man's food. Okay, how come the shadow is like dimmer there? 'Cause it's all the same Z level, I think. It's not though. Odd. No idea. Well, at the very least, Twitch has closed captions. They're often correct enough that they're like somewhat usable, but also not. I don't know. As someone who sometimes will look at closed captions when they're just there and I'm editing something and like I have their stream muted or whatever, and it's like, that's understandable, but also 80% bullshit and hilarious. But cheers. It's just unfortunate it's strictly on us like a streamer by streamer basis, and it's not something that like anybody can just turn on. Like you actually have to like install the plugin on the streamer. Actually has to like go out of their way to set up closed captions. Kind of wish it's something that Twitch would promote more, but here we are. Yeah, I mean, considering I have my camera turned off too. I like that the little dudes are like climbing down the outside of the castle. So are you just like searching through the closed captions tag, or how are you finding channels? Like there they go again. Like they climb down the outside and like drop the last Z level. It's funny. I getcha. Gotcha. Well, neat. Welcome to the channel for at least a brief stay. This is Odd Realm. It's a little colony builder. This is very much my style of game. I play a lot of Dwarf Fortress normally. This game is, kind of cute. I'm interviewing the developer for it tomorrow on my YouTube channel. I've done quite a few developer interviews now. My right eye doesn't work at all. My left eye has severe tunnel vision. I have columboma of the retina and the iris in both eyes. So my name is accurate. Oh, hey. I just found the minimap hotkey. While looking for a different hotkey. What was I doing? So you're like the opposite of me then, because I have tunnel vision. It's like my left eye works, but I have absolutely no peripheral, and I have floating blind spots. My right eye just doesn't work. I mean, I can see light out of my right eye. That's it. And only out of, like, the very far corner. Yeah. You might have nodded off for about 20 minutes. Did you party hard earlier today, pilot? Hey, at the very least, you're working from home today. Oh, I got onions somehow? Sweet. Plant those. Looks like it was just 3 onions. We are going to not last through the winter, by the way. You slept in. I like how you get to sleep in until the F1 race. I have to wake up at fucking 5:45 in the morning. I'd say once or twice a week, in regards to the if you are blind comments. And it's usually either people immediately assume that I'm lying and I'm mocking disabled people, or they think they are hilarious. It's usually one of the two. It's one of the two. Used to be a lot more often. But then I stopped playing as popular games. So now I just hide in my corners over here. Oh, damn it, I literally only got 1 seed from that. Man. We are in trouble. I was kind of hoping I'd get another trader, but a trader hasn't shown up, so... I don't know what that is, but we gotta eat them. They look big and scary. All right, let's eat some things. Well, I'm legally blind, right? Like, I have a white cane. I don't ever use it because I don't really need it. But fire hydrants and small children are the bane of my existence. So, yeah, that's me basically. And people when I was younger, used to think that it was hilarious to like stand next to me and like wave at me and shit. And when I tell people that my eyes don't work properly, the first thing they do is hold 2 fingers up and say, "How many fingers am I holding up?" And I tell them to fuck themselves. It's usually how that goes. Go kill them. Dinner. Nope, that's the wrong button. Ha! Food hath been acquired. And the others are being carried up here, I think. Now I can make whatever those are. I think they're supposed to be buffalo. I can make fucking sausage? Dude. I'm just gonna say make a bunch of those whenever we get that. Good night, Bastet. You should probably go to bed. Text is the bane of your existence, at least. Do you have a device that uses lettering for you? Oh, no, well. Has died in combat. Well, I mean, person died from their wounds after the fight. That's unfortunate, but less mouths to feed. You have to make your own accessibility devices because you get help nowhere else and experts, and everyone expects you to communicate to their standards. No, I understand that. I don't know. Having any sort of disability that isn't super common is a challenge. It's even more so if it's a disability that somebody can't immediately associate with just by talking to you, right? Like, I have a friend who has mild schizophrenia, and they hallucinate quite frequently. It's really, really difficult to get people to sympathize because it's like, well, have you never hallucinated? Okay, well, then what do you know? You don't know what it's like to just hear voices from behind you. Sometimes people are oddly bad at that. It's very frustrating. It's just like and then also combine that with like internet trolling. It's like people are just so used to people trolling on the internet and lying about things and not being truthful that the literal second you have, you know, somebody like myself with a username like the one that I have, the literal second I do that, people just assume it's a joke. But, you know, it is what it is. You live and deal. You deal and live. It's really, really fun to try, like Goldpuck, I don't know if you've ever been here, but it's real fun to try to communicate to people that my eyes don't work when they come into the channel. They're like, well, how are you playing the video game? It's like, how are you doing the stupid? I don't know. I know, actually, you're blind deaf, not deaf blind. Please, come on. Also, deaf blind is my new punk band. Well, no, that would be more like third deaf blind, maybe. Where we only do third eye blind covers, actually, but in like more of a ska style. Apparently, Captions doesn't know what ska is. What the fuck? Now it says it's Scott. Ska. S-K-A. Ska. God. This is why I don't ever look at captions, because I know how bad they are. You cop so much flack over having 7 kids and not a disability. I mean, I will fully admit to you, Anander, I've given you flack for having 7 kids. I don't think you've ever been mad at me for it, though, and if I do ever upset you, please tell me. It's just such an easy thing to poke. It's like, I hope your children haven't eaten you yet. I don't know. I'm terrified of children. The only thing I'm more scared of than children is my brain. My brain is the only thing that scares me more than kids. I don't really want either of them, to be honest. I can't put a ladder there. There must be something there. Did I just discover this game's Dwarven sonar? Huh. Huh. Look at this. Excellent. There's a dungeon there. I found a bug! Does anybody here know what I just did? You can't place ladders on constructed objects. You can't place ladders on constructed objects. So there's a dungeon there. There's an objective there. It's just like Dwarven sonar. Maybe they have food. The last time I found a dungeon like that, they had dungeon carrots. So I'm going to see if there's carrots in this one too. Granted, it also had a bunch of guys that wanted to murder me, but they also had carrots. So, you know, it was a win-win. Let's see if they have mysterious wall chickens. Food or demons? Yeah, you know, exactly. What could possibly go wrong, right? Murder carrots? No, not murder carrots. Friendly carrots. Edible carrots. Delicious carrots. My food count is way too low to make it through winter. I mean, maybe if they're like a chicken demon, it's just big chicken. That could be pretty delicious. Or like a broccoli demon. No offense, Anander, though, but why would you go telling somebody at work that you have 7 kids? It's like, I used to have normal jobs, too, when I worked with other people. It's like, I don't believe I ever told anyone anything about me. Like, literally nobody I ever worked with knew anything about me. Well, this isn't useful. I mean, it's got a bunch of ore. But that's it. I was hoping for, underground chicken, but nope. No underground chicken for me. So I have a SoundCloud as others found out that you had a SoundCloud and then had somebody saying you fake being deaf and had to explain that you also ended up on an illness fakers group. Not many realize, for one, you can feel sounds, also your condition from... Oh, you'd love my speaker setup then. From ataxia from your brain affecting your central auditory processing. Yeah, I mean, if you can feel sounds, and like I can totally associate with the feeling sounds things. I go to concerts all the time, and I'll just like sit on the speakers with the earplugs in. It's like, oh yeah. I mean, during normal times, not during pandemics, obviously, but like I will gladly just like pay very little attention to the actual show itself and just sit on massive full body vibrator. Who doesn't love that? It's great. Dinner was good. Good to hear. Picture in Discord. Oh my god, you're making me hungry. Hold on a second. Just gotta make these ladders go a little deeper. I kinda just want to cheese this now. And just like figure out where all the dungeons are. Just ore, no food, man. To give you an idea, Gross Rocco, this is like an example of somebody faking an illness. Have you ever heard of Zillion OP? So if you haven't, he was a old streamer from way back in the day on this little website you may have heard of. It's called Twitch. And Zillion was a dude in a wheelchair. And he raised a bunch of money to buy a new wheelchair, a couple of times, in fact, and repairs for his wheelchair. And he got a motorized wheelchair, and then he forgot he had his webcam turned on, and then he stood up and walked away. Performed a miracle live on camera. And then he got banned from Twitch. I think he still streams, actually, just not on Twitch. But people will go long ways to fake things for profit. It is kind of hilarious, but also horrible. That's Zillion OP. I mean, if you literally just go to YouTube and type in Zillion OP performs a miracle live on stream, you'll find it. He literally just like fucking stands up and walks away, and then like you hear like his girlfriend who's talking to him on voice comms, and she just gets super nervous all the time and starts trying to distract chat. Then he comes back and fucking sits down. It's great. Jesus. Asshole. Zillion with a Z. Zillion OP. Like Zillion is in the League of Legends character. It's borderline criminal. Borderline? Borderline? Literally the definition of scamming people, sir. But yeah, I've had people accuse me of that sort of thing. They're like, oh, you're just faking it. And I'm like, well, I've had my camera off all day. Might as well turn it on for a second. But it's like, look at my eye. Eyes don't look like that. You know. Yes, but this guy was completely fit and had absolutely nothing wrong with him. He tried to play it off as a joke afterwards. It was literally like, oh yeah, it was just an act. It was just entertaining people kind of deal. It's like, oh yikes, okay, cool. You are a bad person. I'm pretty sure he got in a lot of trouble. Pretty sure. But like I said, he now just like plays it off as his legacy and still streams as far as I can tell. And there's like no food here. I think it's called America. Cold poke. Yeah, I was right. I mean, I live in Canada, so everything is covered. Everything is covered, more or less. Everything within reason is covered. Or, like, at least partially covered. Between type 1 diabetes and streaming, I would not be able to stream full-time if I lived in the U.S. and didn't have insurance. So unless I had private insurance, if I lived in the U.S., I would not be able to stream full-time. I've had American viewers get really mad at me over saying that because they claim that it's not true. They're like, no, you'd be fine. It's like, have you looked at how much insulin costs? Without insurance? Yeah. I would have to move back in with my parents, get a job at a fast food restaurant or a gas station, and find something with some sort of basic insurance, and then maybe I'd be okay, but doubtful. All right, you need a profession. I need more farmers. What has the world gone to? See, here's the thing. Fucking, if you're gonna give money to a girl on the internet who's playing a character, that's up to you. But if that's very different than claiming to have a disability and not, right? It's very different. Even with good insurance? Yep. I have to spend about $15 a month on Lancets. Trust is about thinking people are honest. Most people are. Yep. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But you can't use a phone. Isn't there a way for you to like communicate via... Like there is ways for you to communicate at that point. Because like I can text my doctor. I say that as somebody who literally texted his doctor 2 days ago and to ask for a refill on a prescription. Like you could actually do that. Yes, I actually won an investment and it was like the lowest one I've done all day. The fuck, man? All right. Well, if you go on the internet and your intention is to I'm going to use the comparison of strippers. Right? I know a girl who was a stripper for a while. She was always in a relationship. She didn't have to tell people anything as part of her job. As a person on the internet, you are not obliged to tell anybody anything about yourself personally and your personal life and personal relationships. That being said, if you are claiming a disability and asking people for money on behalf of that disability, that is totally different. That would be like that one girl who was like, there's a very big difference between sitting in a bathtub in a bikini as a pretty lady and telling people that, oh, of course you're single, and getting lots of donations. There's a big difference between doing that and playing RuneScape and telling people you have cancer and asking for money for cancer treatments. There's a big fucking difference there. And of course, like, yeah, you could say that where do you legally draw the line? I can tell you where I draw the line. And if it's not clear by that statement, then question mark. Where the fuck do we start here? There's a very big difference between being a risque entertainer and stating that you are single and lying about your personal relationships because, frankly, it's none of the audience's business. Like, I could be dating 4 people and tell you guys I'm single, and legally I'd be fine, right? But I'm not, and I'm not that cool, unfortunately. But if I for some reason said, help, I need money for insulin, which I don't because I'm covered because I'm in Canada, that would be scamming you. If they lie about it to get donations from fans, like I stated before, there is a big fucking difference between stating that you're single and stating that you are disabled. And if you can't see that difference, I don't need to explain it to you. I'm dating 4 people. My right hand, my left hand. Shit. That apple pie. They're all people to me, okay? I mean, touche. Lying is bad. But strippers don't need to tell you who they're dating to give you a lap dance. And I don't think that girls in bikinis and bathtubs on Twitch need to tell you who they're dating in order for you to give them money. Yeah, ran out of hands. It's like, my feet aren't that flexible. I'll be honest, I don't know what that means, and I don't need to know what that means. Nusian. I don't know what that means, and I don't need to know what that means. And I don't want to Google it. Well, my cooked meals went up slightly, so that's good. Got any more wild plants? Stone leaf. If you think it isn't a fantasy, don't go to a strip club and stop wasting time on e-girls. What pilot said? Jesus. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, if you can't see the difference between what between the things that I'm talking about, then I shouldn't need to explain it. Honestly, if the viewers are going to give a girl less money because they have a boyfriend, that girl needs to get better viewers. I'm just going to say that. And as a dude who gets some money from viewers, and I don't think the money would change much if I wasn't single, they should get better viewers. And also, if the guys then feel ripped off, they should feel dumb for giving those people money and thinking they are, I don't know, getting close with a cute girl or something, because that's not how life works. This stream has gone in some weird fucking directions. Remind me how we got here, chat. This is your fault. I'm blaming you. You did this. Yes, pools, hot tubs, and beaches is a category on Twitch. Fuck if I don't. Yeah, I know, right? It's just how the fuck did we get here? I want a burger. I haven't had a burger in months. And I was telling Picture Point that he should stream his fish tank in the pools category for a bit. Because they are technically underwater. How's your bingo card looking? I think Freskins is just dead on the floor because he's so plastered from the bingo card that he's been filling out from this chat today. Holy shit, I'm plastered. Hi, plastered, I'm dead. Whoa.
Does this mean we are dating now?
Twitch is not a dating website, but thanks for the $25. I'll take it and run. Maybe in your mind. Hey, Tone, what's up? No, here, I'll show you the
See how he bites off
that.
the shell to get at the nut?
That channel. Thanks for the $25, Bun Bun. Cheers. And massive talk about exes and cats. Yeah. Yeah. How's your streams been, Tone? It's good to see you, man. I'm chatting with the developer of this game on my YouTube channel soon, so I'm streaming this game for footage, but also because this game's kind of fun. Nope. And I'm thinking I'm gonna die this winter. Because I don't have enough food. But maybe we'll be okay. I don't know. Maybe we can just squeak by. If a trader shows up, we're good. Just need someone to trade with me. So I can sell them all of my rocks and buy stuff from other people. Yeah, OnlyFins is pretty great. Yeah, it took a like half a year of pestering my friend, and him and his sister set it up finally. Yeah, it's a friend of mine who's streaming his fish tank. I don't know if you've ever seen his stream, but it's Picture Point. Got a great Brogue run started yesterday. Cool. You're welcome. Gross, Roka. I used to own fish, so it's really nice to just see fish. Like I used to own Emperor Tetras and that, and it's way cooler looking. It's a way cooler looking tank than I've ever had. So. But yeah, on the topic of the interviews that I do, people seem to be really happy with the little chat that I did with the dev on Soul Ash. People seemed really happy with that one. Yeah, see, I would be tempted to get a fish tank just for plants, but... Okay, I screwed up this layer. That's why it's not working. Whoa! Oh, there! Yay! Maybe I'm not dead. I might still be dead, though. Please sell me stuff. What do you have? Buy all of my rotten food, please. You're free to take all the water. You can buy the human and animal remains. Just take all the corpses and bones and crap off of me. Real tempted to just sell him a bunch of logs. Kind of probably need those though. Man, I got a lot of steel. Holy shit. Didn't actually realize how much steel I had. Apparently have 3 potatoes. Yeah, this game's music is pretty boppin' when it goes. I'm just gonna sell like 20 steel. All right, what can I buy from you? Bunch of mushrooms, on it. Bunch of apples, on it. Bunch of pineapple, even better. Please tell me you have seeds.
Since I left my lurk.
Thank you very much for the 17 months, Tone. Welcome back. You know, there are times where resubs kind of make me feel old. I feel like I watched your stream for the first time like days ago. Maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago. It's like, oh, it's been a long time. Shit. Man, he doesn't have any seeds. Roasted shrimp meat. Can't actually remember how many of those I bought, but I know I bought a bunch. I just need to get all that food hauled. Okay, your neighbor has a pistol, and he has been shooting around hundreds of rounds of ammo for the past hour. That is scary. What, the metal track? It's a local band that no one's ever heard of and no one ever will hear of, but I can show you, I can give you a link if you like. I know the bassist of the band, but the vocals are Daffy Duck that I put over top of it. So the riff is I can never remember which track, but it's off of this album. I think dozens of people have heard of that band. Their riffs are pretty good. Like they're pretty solid little band. Do do do. Yeah, it does not feel like that. I mean, it's even crazier, Tone, because there's a few people on this channel that almost have 50-month resubs, and it's like, oh god, I've known you longer than 50 months in a lot of cases. It's like the people who've been subscribed to this channel for 49 months, I've probably known for like a couple years longer than that. It's like, there's no way I've been streaming for that long. I've been streaming for 8 years. Oh god. Like, someone was moving into my building last night, and I was outside just like drinking some iced tea and just kind of chilling in the evening. Yep. OGs remember Game Wisp. Anyway, I was just drinking some tea, and he's just like, yeah. I'm like, are you moving in? He goes, yeah, I'm moving in. He's like, how long have you been here? I'm like, 8 years. And then my immediate reaction after stating 8 years was, oh, fuck. I've been here 8 years. It's some solid thrash, that's for sure.
Oh hey, I forgot to do a thing again, LOL.
You know, Hobo, you're allowed to unsub your alt, right? Just, like, you did it for a bit, and I respect the bit, but, like, you don't have to keep doing it. Thank you, though, for doing the thing again. LOL. Shao Kahn, dis dick. Still a good username. You actually did forget. I mean, you talked about this last month. After month 7, you're like, I forgot to unsub on my alt. I was like, well, I mean, I don't mind, but, like, you don't have to. You do enough for the channel anyway. But thank you. Ren Shaki as well. Thank you very much for the 8 months.
Good evening.
I think everybody's finally making it back home because there's been more resubs in the last, like, 20 minutes than there has been in the rest of the stream. But thank you for the 8 months. Welcome back. Good evening to yourself. Do you need a profession? Nope. You've got a profession. Is it you that needs a profession? Nope, you've got a profession. How about you? Ah, there we go. I need more cooks. No, it was off by 1 minute. Needs 100 bits or another resub. Was off by literally a minute. Otherwise, the Tone Hack resub would have done it. I'm pretty sure the last one went over right as Tones rolled over to 6 minutes.
Our word.
Oh, there you go. That'll do it. Word up. Cheers, Stupid, for the $1. Thanks, Hobo, for the $1.98. Got 2 thirsty dudes. I feel like I should just I should crank up the amount of water in this place.
This is Sparta!
No, this is Odd Realms, sir. Not Sparta. Like, even you should be able to see that. And let's go into production. And just say 200 purified water. 200 charcoal. And 300 water. That's not purified. Thanks for the bit. Stupid. Cheers. It's also weird playing a game where it's like, it's water, not alcohol. That's just weird to say. You're gonna go to sauna and try to sleep. I love how quickly people can give away where they are just by saying I'm gonna go to sauna. Because there's only like one place in the world where they actually say that. But you have a good time in the sauna. Cheers, Santa. But chat, can I get a big round of beers for all the resubs and the bits and the little scam train? Numeroc P was born. I do like that the people in this game are born as fully grown adults. I find that kind of funny. Stupid, thanks for chucking out a sub into the ether. And Ren Shaki with the 1,400 bits, not 1,500. I miscounted. Thank you very much for the 1,400 bits. $1,400 in pennies. Thanks for the, bits. Cheers. Because here's the thing, Zalara. If you just type in the word beer, many different languages actually works. A lot of different languages will work if you type in the word beer. You can also use the beer emoji, the beers emoji, HS cheers, or like a lot of other options, as well as several different streamers' beer emotes. They all work. Thanks, Stupid. Cheers. I've lost count of how many times I need to thank you, Stupid, so I will just say thank you for all of them. You don't know if there's any default one? HS cheers. That's the default one. Hearthstone cheers! It's just a big old Warcraft mug. Well, now you do. I like how there's a ladder going up here, but instead of using the ladder, they climb up the outside of the wall. It's got, all of the people in this game are like cats in Dwarf Fortress. They're all legendary climbers. Thanks for the bit, Stupid. Cheers. Yeah, well, I don't think... Do you actually see... Yeah, you don't see emoji unless you have better Twitch TV running. Or you're on phones. And do you not have phones? Still funny? I don't know. Maybe. Let's do... That was so bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah, but it's still kind of funny. The truest irony of that whole thing is that that game's kind of okay, apparently. That's the funniest part of that whole thing to me, is that people are like, yeah, the game's fine. Thanks for the bit, stupid. And the one before that. I don't think I actually said anything about the one before that. You do see them in browser? Oh, really? I mean, are you using Better Twitch? Or, I don't know. I don't know how that stuff... What game did that refer to? Diablo Immortal? And I'll be honest, I would have forgotten what game it was if it wasn't for that joke. And for that, like, massive catastrophe tier fuck up. There we go. Does vanilla Firefox? Well, I don't know. Maybe it does work then. I'm not a scientist, Infinity. I don't know. I don't know how emojis work. I'm not a licensed emoji translator after all. You're building a fire pit. There's also a fire pit down there. Thanks for the bit, stupid. Thanks, Infinity, for chucking a sub at Bobtron. Welcome back, Bob. You're a scientist? I'm not a scientist. But thank you very much, everybody, for all the support. Cheers. Chugga, 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 chugga. Indeed. Nearly made it to the next level. Yeah, bits make it kind of hard. And welcome back, Bob, for another month of ad-free viewing. Courtesy of Infinity. It's their first time gifting a sub. Thanks for doing that, Infinity. And thanks, Winshaki, and everybody else for taking part in that. Cheers, Hobo, for helping start it. Glad I can be of service, Infinity. It's stupid. Chat, should we tell Stupid that the train's finished? No, I just don't, no one say anything, okay? Train's still going. Choo choo. Thanks for the bits. Cheers. Hey. I didn't think clicking and dragging would overwrite them, but apparently it do. Apparently it do. So let's do this again. No, that one's actually fine. Let's just let them do the floors first. Chugga, 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 choo choo. But thank you very much, everybody, for all the support. I almost punched my mug over. Thank you. Rule number 1 of having a mug on your desk. Don't punch the mug. Rule number 2 of having a mug on your desk. Don't punch the mug. Although it's surprisingly difficult to actually accomplish that when you have no depth perception. It's never fill the mug with anything, but then you're just eternally disappointed. What do you do when you pick up the mug and there's nothing in it? And you're like, but I have mug here that should have delicious coffee or beverage in it, and instead it's empty. And then it's just like constant eternal disappointment. I mean, I have this fancy pants Discord branded mug. I mean, obviously I have to leave it on the desk for the cool kids camera alongside of complicated video games book to make me look smart. And stoner metal band sticker, because I don't know, and then I'm a rat. Yeah, you should go grab the aiders. Are you getting this all, Bob? It's gonna be on the test. Thanks for the bit, stupid. I think stupid just likes hearing me say thanks for the bit. It's a pretty good book, Tone. Have you read it? Ironically, I read the foreword, which is by Derek Yu, to my dad, and he went home and bought the book. He's like, "I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna call you, and you're going to explain it to me." I'm like, "Oh God." But, I don't know. I also have this book to make me look smart. See, I've read it once in full, and I'm on a second route through, but the second time's taking me a lot longer. I don't like picking and choosing chapters I like reading. No offense to Jason Greenblatt, but his writing is, like, nonsensical. I don't know what the fuck he's on about half the time. Which is ironic, because I love Caves of Cud, which is nonsensical, and I have no idea what the fuck he's on about most of the time. I should buy that. Tone. I should buy that. Although, actually, the thing that I really want to... The book that I do want to pick up about games is Iwata Asks, about the passed away Nintendo president, which is just a whole bunch of translated interviews that he did with employees, which were all published in small magazines and local blogs and stuff. But it's like a collection of interviews. I'd love to read that. There's also like weird bugs with like stuff appearing on upper and lower Z levels in this. The problem is like I read really fucking slowly, right? That's the problem. Yeah, he did that too. Some of them also came from there. I also want to why am I blanking on his name? Video games journalist famous for like talking about the seedy underbelly of the games industry. Fuck, what's his name? Used to work at Kotaku. Now is at Bloomberg. I'm just blank. I've been streaming too long. I can't remember his name. But I want to read his new book because I read his other one. To think a lot while reading? Combine that with stoner brain, and it just means reading's very difficult. But, I mean, I have to use a magnifying glass to read. The problem is I also smoke weed, so... like, I'll be reading something, I'll be like, I'm too high to focus on this right now. I'm gonna go listen to Pink Floyd again. Actually, usually it's something else. I don't listen to Pink Floyd that much. I do own 2 Pink Floyd albums, but I don't listen to those LPs that much out of all the LPs I own. Yes, Jason Schreier. That's his name. Which interview did you listen to? Do you listen to Dad and Sons or something? Because like I literally just listened to that, but I knew that it was coming out before then. I'm so confused. Why do these people keep climbing up the edge of this wall? You literally have stairs to go up. Okay, so I listened to an interview that he did with Bunny Hop. George Weidman. On the topic of video games journalism, I've had some people call me a journalist because of the interviews I've done with Tarn and other developers. That, I think, is the weirdest. That's something I'll never get used to. It's like, I can kind of deal with people calling me a content creator because I guess technically I'm kind of a content creator. But it's weird being called a journalist. That's just plain fucking weird. And not something I'll ever get used to. It's like, that sounds like something I should go to school for. It's like, I feel like I should have an education to be called a journalist. The public has a very low bar for... I mean... So what you're saying is I'm just a really shitty journalist? Or I shouldn't be called journalism? Because I don't really consider the interviews I do journalism. I consider them more visibility for smaller games. Now, if someone said that my interviews were shitty journalism, that I'd agree with. That is like a... critique I could roll with. It's like, your interviews are journalism, but they're shitty journalism. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. Thank you. I agree with that. Low bar journalism. Barrel edition. Bottom of the barrel edition. I think we've done pretty things with this little spot. Gotta go dig it out to find it. No, I mean, like, here's the thing, right? I think people talk a lot of shit about games journalism, but there's actually a lot of really good games journalism out there. It's just not the stuff that gets the front page spotlight. Like, fucking IGN puts out good articles from time to time. Like, there are talented writers all over the video game space. It's just the stuff that does well isn't that stuff. So, you know, just like me, you know, oops, no, that's not what I wanted. I stream and put up the DF news videos to pay the bills, but the interviews that I do make me pennies, right? It's kind of a similar thing for those bigger sites. It's like, if I were to just stop streaming and just do interviews, I'd make dollars a week. Whole dollars. And yeah, I'm kind of a streamer first and foremost, but in my opinion, the secondary thing that I do that is really cool is the interviews. And I would just like to, and I would really like to do more of those. That being said, I do think it's a little weird that I've been called a journalist because of them. I think that's more a public perception problem. Neither. Bobtron. Influencer is a marketing term used by execs at corporations to describe people like myself as somebody who is ready and willing and easy to make influence people into purchasing their product. Content creator, I'm a little bit more okay with, but then it kind of degrades the work that I do down to just content, being a form of media that people look at with their eyeballs that can have ads put on them and shoved out into the ether. To print dollar signs for more big corporations. In theory, I am both of those things. I am both an influencer and a content creator. That being said, I don't really consider myself either. I really don't. Because I feel like calling yourself a content creator is devaluing your work. And I feel that calling yourself an influencer is simply saying, yes, I am a puppet for giant corporations. Smiley face. Am I both of those things? Technically, yeah. Do I really like being called either of those things? Not really. If I had an option, I wouldn't be called either of those things. But I don't have much of an option because, you know, this is the industry I work in. It's kind of like calling a chef that works at a restaurant a burger flipper. It's like, well, do you flip burgers as part of your job? Sure, but it's devaluing the act of what you are actually doing. You're making food for people. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people who work in this industry who very much like take it in stride and run with it. But, you know, the longer I'm here and the more my channel gets funded through Patreon, and the more I kind of become like a specific small part of a niche community, kind of the less I feel like an influencer and the more I feel kind of just like a creator. You know, I work on the internet, I create things, and people who like them support them, hopefully. And if they don't support them, then I hope that at the very least they get some value out of them. And I hope that that value is more than just, I've seen my daily dose of content. I am satisfied with this content. Content person. I hope that you're getting more out of it than just that. Because if that's all you get out of the work that I do, then that I think is a little bit sad. But, you know, if that is all you get out of it and that's enough for you, at the same time, what am I to say that you shouldn't be satisfied with content? Just accidentally shot himself. What the fuck? How do you accidentally shoot yourself? Like in the foot? Like in the arm? In the throat? The fuck? Hope he's okay. Hope he gets his gun taken away. Jesus. Fucking morons. Yeah, that's a accurate statement. We're almost down to freezing. A bunch of trees to chop down to try and get more plant fiber. Do. There's potatoes. In the foot? Ah, he's fine. Fucking idiot. I'm happy none of my neighbors go around and shoot guns. So here's the thing. If you were to just go into your backyard here and start shooting off a gun, assuming you had a gun license, it would be revoked almost immediately, and you'd probably have your gun taken away. And the police would show up, and you might spend the night in the cell, or in a cell rather. But yeah, sounds like a fucking idiot. Glad he's okay though. I'll admit you had me kind of worried for a second there. At least it'll be more quiet for the day in the neighborhood. Yeah, at least the noise is gonna quiet down now. Probably want to have his gun taken away. No, you're probably not wrong. Also, hey, Renbird. Hope you are doing well. Must have gotten some plant fiber at the very least. Those will mature in 20-something hours, which is good. Is back when you click badges or sub bit or any other, you can get a neat little pop-up, like clicking a username. Oh, does it say what they are? Oh, I get the little pop-ups, but I don't have to click them. 3 ancients appear carrying all sorts of really cool stuff. I mean, why did they appear on a tiny little holes? Gaius, please stop talking about your jewels. Okay, hold on a second. What is this game? When I grow up, I want to be this necromancer. He's got little sunglasses on. It's like fucking, Investments are open, chat. But anyway, Rocco, I'm telling you, everyone's going for the jewels these days. Red, white, gold, all sorts. They love them. Setha's name? You paint them? Don't you get a rash? Wait, what? I guess you could paint them if you wanted. Make sure they're clean. Oh, and customers, kind masters, you won't step up and look at our goods to the void and back. We've gone so far. We've got so much to offer, and I apparently can't read it all right now. Sure. Show them your jewels! Quiet, you dolt! We'll show them the weapons. Everyone loves weapons. Welcome. Take a look around. I have so much to offer. Huh. You know, every single time I run into unique characters in this game, I'm always just so fucking intrigued because they're always so strange. They brought seeds! We're saved! Anyway, not quite, but they brought like mushrooms and shit. They're also like on a single rock in the middle of the water, so thanks for all the bits, stupid. That's always the best, is when you have a Darby's pointy stick. Darby's pointy stick. There's a legendary weapon here called Darby's pointy stick. You know, there are some people who are just like, this game doesn't have enough depth or whatever. I don't know what they're smoking. This game's brilliant. This game's great. Who doesn't want Darby's pointy stick? Although, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about where those are going to go. Indeed, but not as happy as if we'd shown them the jewels. The family ones. So did they put them all right there? I'm very worried that... Because, like, they just decided to spawn in the wrong spot. No! I do really like that the liches are just old perverts, though. That's very funny. I agree, though. No. I really hope that, like... Okay. There's a bunch of cauliflower seeds there. Darby has to buy... I mean, you don't want to buy Darby's pointy stick? This game is silly. Oh, I see. It all spawned up here. Not receiving enough light. They need to receive light? Okay. I didn't realize mushrooms needed lighting, but it's also too cold for them. How goes progress? I just had some necromancers show up that wanted to sell me their family jewels. I wish I was making that up. They also were selling Darby's pointy stick. Specifically, it was Darby that wanted to sell us the family jewels. The painted family jewels, specifically. This game's very good. A little slow, but very, very good. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. They were selling. No, not wanting to fight. They were literally just skelly traders, and one of them had sunglasses. And he was saying that everybody likes buying gems. Actually, that's not true. Certain types of mushrooms will grow bigger if they have light, but don't need it. So, growing for certain types of mushrooms can be optimal if they have light. But they often don't need it. That will shrink with light exposure. I mean, the last mushrooms I grew were oyster mushrooms. And you grow them in dark, and then right when they're about to like bloom and puff up, you put them in the sun, and then they grow much bigger. I'm not totally sure. I'm not a scientist, like I said earlier. I just know that they puff up and get big if you put them in the sun after they've mostly done their sporing underground. They're bringing all the seeds as well as all the bread. Also, can I just say, I love how shocked LaFonda is that Necromancer showed up that didn't immediately try to kill me. It's like, wait, you had Necromancers show up that aren't trying to murder you? Apparently not all Necromancers are homicidal maniacs, you know? Although these guys are more liches than Necromancers, but I digress. Probably. I don't know. All I know is that mushrooms connect trees together and help trees communicate in the forest internet. And most mushroom colonies have more connections than a human brain. They're going to eat us one day. Although I do have these mushrooms down here which grow underground. Bronze caps. I'm so sorry for your poor pets. I didn't have to deal with too many explosions on Canada Day, fortunately, because most people didn't celebrate because we weren't supposed to. There was a few, but not very many. Also, Infinity, I don't know if you know, but Bobtron's sub is now 1 whole year because of that gift. You helped Bob get to a year of subscriptions. But yeah, that's the tower. Goes all the way up to here. On explosion days near airports, the only sanctioned and federally approved fireworks. I mean, I don't know. I don't like fireworks in particular, so. And I'm not a pet. At least, I don't think so. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Just trying to bring all of those seeds in here. Still not certain we'll make it through the winter, but what can I do? Guess not much. I brought so many of these mushrooms, but these ones need light. So what am I to do? Oh shit, that's a fuck ton of cauliflower that I did not realize I had. Let's see if I can get like a whole set of cauliflower and a whole set of corn out. The soundtrack to this game is good, but there's not enough of it. There's like 4 songs. But they don't play super frequently, and if you just like the ambient sounds, it's actually quite pleasant. Do, do, do. You know what I'm really thankful for? Is that you guys are not all pestering me to play that new RimWorld expansion. Fueled by cauliflower? I mean, we could call it a flower, if you really want. I prefer to call it experience. Yeah, there's a new RimWorld expansion. Out soon, TM, but there's updates in the beta branch. Disnov has like 600 more viewers than he normally does. I think my team's going to do something with it. I'm just going to pass because I do not like playing that game. I actively despise playing that game now. Everything about that game is repulsive to me. Nope. Pilot knows what game he's watching. You think your chat broke again? Seems to be working on my screen. Lightning strike? Whoa. That's new to me. They went through buckets of water on it. Good job, guys. Just seeing if there's anything else on this layer. Just doing some scouting. Killany. Is that your name? Well. You can be a miner. I would rather just eat like roasted cauliflower than cauliflower trying to be something else. I've had cauliflower steaks, they're fine. It's like actually my biggest problem with vegan food, and this is coming from someone who's mostly vegan, who really likes vegan food. I really hate it when people try and make vegan food into something it's not. It's like, hey, I took a bunch of beans and made a steak. It's like, okay, just fucking eat a steak. If you want a steak that bad, just go eat a steak. It's fine. I'm not going to hate you for it. See, like, when someone says cauliflower air quotes steak, I don't want it. You know, if you say pan-seared roasted cauliflower, I'm in. Sold. I don't know. I don't like it when people try to pretend things are things that they're not. I find it kind of frustrating. I like cauliflower. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. To those of you who don't like cauliflower, you are monsters. Although that also means more cauliflower for me, so I shouldn't complain. Less for you, more for me. Haha, suckers. I'm sitting down. What does raw cabbage have to do with anything? So do you think anybody's going to starve to death in this mine shaft? That sounds like someone should have a knitch still. I was trying to combine kale and schnitzel and I couldn't do it. It's not that it generally sucks. It's more that it devalues the food that it is. I love a good veggie burger, but if you tell me it's some branded meat thing and not a veggie burger, then no. That's like, give me real meat at that point. Now that I do not know about. I do not know about mine asphyxiation. Like, not vegan, but pescatarian. Hold on. That was delicious. And people say that veggies are gross. That was pretty delicious. Just saying. Maybe the best salad I've had in years. I'm out of salad stuff and it makes me sad. I mean, I don't like normal chicken nuggets. They just taste like metal. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I really want to just end stream and go to the pub. Like, I like you guys and all, but... I mean, I'm not vegan. I'm just a weekday vegan. And then on the weekends, I'm pescatarian. So I don't eat meat during the week. And then on my days off, I allow myself minimal amounts of meat. And then every now and again, I cheat and buy a fucking steak because, you know, I'm human too. Yeah, man. You think I earned some chill time at the pub? Yeah, maybe. Question is, do I want to go to the pub alone? That's the question. I want to see what happens when I dig as low as you can go. Let's go as low as you can go, chat. Well. Hey, nice cooked food. Fish and eggs. No red meat. You might go to the pub for the F1 race in Austin. Do they show it in the pub? You have cooler pubs than me. Oh, somebody died from old age. Rip Sog Markel. One less mouth to feed this winter. They might if you ask for it. Call in advance. I just want to know what's down here. So this seems to be the lowest layer that I can dig to. Now that you think about it. I mean, not that you think about it would be a almost an admission of desperately wanting a steak. But yeah, I think that this game... Ooh, Void Crystal Veins. That's what you need to be a necromancer in this game. Or a lich. They eat those. Those are valuable. They're also used for arcane magics. It's winter! Should go out here and harvest all of this stuff that I can. That I was able to grow in a very short period of time. And it's going to be very cold and it's going to start snowing. But we still have the mushrooms for underground too, so we should be okay. How many layers down is that? There's 64 layers in the game, and I seem to be able to go 60 down. Bloatius mushrooms. These guys are the ones that I can grow underground. These ones, yeah, they need more light, so I will plant more of them up here if I can. I'm going to plant some more potatoes. Some of these. You can be a miner person. No, there's 64 layers total. So this game is a lot more structured in its map depth than DF. So sea level is always the same at 42. You can always go down to the same layer, which is all the way down here at layer 2. But I don't seem to be able to go down too deeper. Let's actually see. Can I? Yeah, I can't dig in it. So I guess that's bedrock. I'm sure there's probably a way down because I found weird stuff down here before in other playthroughs. Yes, winter indeed has started. And this game is really cool in the winter. No pun intended. Check this out. Everything freezes, and then the snow starts piling up. Oh, I'm sure. Pilot, I'm sure. Don't know how to get there. Honestly, the weirdest thing I've found underground, though, is a weird frogman. Who called me outrageous. Very strange. They seem to still be growing. They don't seem to mind, even though it's chilly. I don't know if they die, but they're still there, so. Yeah, I don't know. I think Kiri should play this game just so that she could build a literal snow fortress. But I feel like this game might be a bit too obtuse for Kiri. Although this game's made for 2 days of fucking chill as hell streams, I'll say that. Like, I feel like I still have more stuff to find, and according to Steam right now, because I'm looking, I have 20 hours in this game. Plus the other, like, 30 I had on itch.io. It's like I've played 15 hours in the last 2 days, basically. And there's a few people who are just like, who have given this game negative reviews, or are just like, I don't know, I feel like I've run out of content. It's like, I don't know, I still have more I could do for sure in this. But I could see why someone would feel like they ran out of content. But I don't know, the cheap price that this game is asking makes it seem totally fair in my opinion. Cauliflower will be done in just a few hours. Hopefully it doesn't die first. Just a bonus harvest of cauliflower. Look at that. We're gonna make it through the winter if it kills us. By the skin of our teeth, I tell you. Oh, there we go. They all died. Got too cold. Some plant fiber up there. Thanks for the bit, stupid. And thanks for the $4.31 total. Rabbit have appeared on the map. You don't see. Look at that. Wabbit. It's time to slap it. Go get him. He may fall off at some point soon. I mean, that's fair. Like I said, I'm still sitting here very tempted to just, after I'm kind of finished what I'm trying to do today, is just go to the pub. I think you guys have been kind enough to me today, so I should be allowed to go to the pub. Seriously, where'd the bunnies go? Finally going to the pub. Yeah, man. Still going to the pub by yourself, though. Although, tomorrow morning there will be a stream. I will be on a stream on Evil Trick's channel. Assuming his entire channel doesn't fall over. Go kill that bunny. There you go, you killed that bunny. These bunnies are fucking invisible. And... butcher them bunnies. Bunny meat! You just people watch? I don't know how busy the pub's gonna be, though. Kind of makes people watching difficult. Ah, well. I think that, what, 9 hours of streaming ain't bad. It's, what, 20 hours of this game in 2 days, basically. We did 1.5 bases today. It's time to save. Yeah, pre-COVID, I agree. Definitely people watching. And back out to the main menu. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and checking out Odd Realm. You know, we've put quite a bit of time into this over the last 2 days. Probably put a little bit more time in over the next couple days in the evenings, but I think that's kind of it for the full streams of it, at least for right now. I still honestly think that this game has more than enough content for its asking price. Like, this game's fucking $8. Like, I don't know. Go check this game out. If you're, like, even passively interested in this kind of game, like, go check it out. It's cool as hell. I probably won't play that new RimWorld expansion at all. Also, Pilot, I don't think I actually have anything to read.